Hello, welcome to the daily English news program on Azərbaycan Televiziya with the most important events of the day. On April 16th, İlham Əliyev, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, held a one-on-one meeting with Mikhail Kavelashvili, President of Georgia, who was on an official visit to Azerbaijan. On April 16th, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, İlham Əliyev, and President of Georgia, Mikhail Kavelashvili, delivered press statements.
President İlham Əliyev once again welcomed the President of Georgia and the delegation headed by him. The head of state extended sincere congratulations on the election of Mikhail Kavelashvili to the post of president and noted that it was a pleasure that the president's first official visit after taking office was to Azerbaijan, which reflects the strong relationship between Georgia and Azerbaijan, characterized by friendship and brotherhood that had endured for centuries and continued today. The head of our state highlighted the high level of interstate relations between the two countries, with significant joint projects being undertaken which are important not only for the two nations but for the wider region as well. Political relations between Georgia and Azerbaijan were described as thriving, with frequent high-level contacts and active political dialogue, and that both nations support each other in international organizations. President İlham Əliyev underlined the strategic importance of the oil, gas and transport projects implemented by the two countries, noting that these initiatives had significantly reshaped the transportation and energy map of the South Caucasus and the entire Eurasian region. The oil and gas pipelines, along with the transport initiatives, had contributed greatly to Europe's energy security, with Azerbaijan currently exporting natural gas to 12 countries, including Georgia, through the Georgian territory. The head of our state acknowledged the progress in the fields of transport and communications, particularly the newly constructed railways and ports, which had created strong synergies between Azerbaijan and Georgia. It was emphasized that these developments had become an integral part of the Middle Corridor, with increasing cargo volumes passing through both countries' territories, and additional steps are being taken to further increase the volume of this cargo. Both nations have a common interest in establishing peace and security in the South Caucasus, and both countries have contributed to this goal, President İlham Əliyev said, expressing hope that the region's history of conflict and war would soon be a thing of the past. The head of our state noted that the first visit after an election was often symbolic, and the president's choice to visit Azerbaijan was a sign of the strong ties between the two nations. President İlham Əliyev wished his counterpart continued success in his future endeavors. President of Georgia thanked President İlham Əliyev for the warm welcome and hospitality. The Georgian president recalled the centuries-old friendship between the peoples of the two nations, stating that it formed a solid foundation for continued cooperation. Mikhail Kavelashvili underscored the importance both nations place on preserving national identity, respecting traditions, and honoring each other's culture and history. In light of global uncertainties and threats to core values, the President of Georgia emphasized the need to protect these principles and affirmed that the Georgian and Azerbaijani peoples stood united in their commitment to defend what is vital to their nations. Mikhail Kavilashvili mentioned several joint projects between Georgia and Azerbaijan that not only benefit both nations but also enhance the region's appeal to the international community, adding that lasting peace and stability are essential for making the South Caucasus more competitive, reliable and sustainable. President of Georgia reaffirmed Georgia's unwavering support for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Azerbaijan and thanked President Ilham Aliyev for reciprocating that stance. Touching on recent developments, Mikhail Kavilashvili welcomed the conclusion of peace negotiations between Azerbaijan and Armenia, describing it as a positive and promising step for unlocking the region's full potential. He expressed hope that a historic peace agreement would soon be signed, setting the stage for long-term regional stability. Reiterating Georgia's commitment to peace, President of Georgia assured that his country would continue its policy of promoting dialogue, diplomacy and peaceful coexistence in the South Caucasus. Mikhail Kavilashvili also pointed out that both countries had faced external interference and double standards in recent years. Despite these challenges, they remain determined to uphold the region's security and stability, noting that no foreign actor knows better than the nations themselves what is right for their people. The Georgian president praised the growing cooperation between Azerbaijan and Georgia in defending their common interests. Mikhail Kavilashvili stressed the need to harness the region's full potential through consistent and wise policies, positioning the South Caucasus as a strong, reliable and unifying force on the global geopolitical map, and expressed hope that the strong relations between the two countries would continue to deepen, always taking into account each other's interests.
On April 16th, President Ilham Aliyev held an expanded meeting with President of Georgia Mikhail Kavilashvili over luncheon. Visiting delegation led by President of Georgia Mikhail Kavilashvili visited the Milli Mejlis. First of all, President of Georgia came to the plenary hall of the Milli Mejlis. Then the guest, having familiarized himself with the exhibits in the Heydar Aliyev Memory Hall, wrote his heartfelt words in the memory book. Afterwards, the parties held an expanded meeting, saying that the fact that the President of Georgia made his first foreign visit to Azerbaijan spoke of the strategic cooperation between the two countries. Speaker of the Milli Mejlis, Sahiba Gafarova, said that the two people lived in the atmosphere of friendship, brotherhood and kind neighborliness during all the periods. It was noted that the political ties between the two countries served an example for all the neighbors. The parties also touched on the interparliamentary ties between the two countries and specifically emphasized the role of mutual friendship groups. The official visit of the President of Georgia, Mikhail Kavilashvili, to Azerbaijan came to an end. The guest was seen off by the First Deputy Prime Minister Yaqub Ayyubov and other officials at Heydar Aliyev International Airport. A Slovenian parliamentary delegation led by Bojan Čebela, head of the Slovenia-Azerbaijan Friendship Group, visited the Alley of Honors on Wednesday to pay tribute to national leader Heydar Aliyev and laid flowers at his tomb. They also visited the Alley of Martyrs to commemorate Azerbaijani heroes who sacrificed their lives for the country's independence and territorial integrity and put flowers at their graves. A meeting was held with the parliamentary delegation led by Bojan Čebela, head of the Slovenia-Azerbaijan Friendship Group in the Milli Mejlis. During the meeting, the parties dwelt on the bilateral and multilateral relations, an exchange of views on cooperation in the field of energy, expansion of economic ties and mutual trade between the two countries, as well as prospects of cooperation in other areas was held. Speaker Sahiba Gafarova specifically underlined the activity of the Friendship Group in the development of interparliamentary ties. Bojan Chebele also emphasized the importance of further strengthening of cooperation between the parliamentarians. He brought to the attention that Azerbaijan hosted COP29 at the very high level. That was all for the day. Thanks for being with us. Goodbye.